there's lots of different metals you can use. You know, a lot of rimfire cans and pistol cans back in the day were aluminum because there wasn't much pressure there that was strong enough. And then, you know, kind of steel was the be-all end-all for rifle cans. Yep, that's going to be 17-4 stainless steel. It's a very common, you know, material. It's very easy to cut on a machine. It's very strong. It's very affordable.
Pretty lightweight.
Yep. Yeah, you can make it
terrible.
lightweight because it's strong. You can use thinner walls and stuff like that. And then there's the more exotic alloys like titanium, which we don't use because it's terrible. We could get into that or not. But
Why is it terrible? Titanium.
Yeah.
There's a few reasons. It's expensive. It's hard to cut. It's really sparky. So if you're looking for low flash, it's virtually impossible with titanium. It's not, at the end of the day, very durable. And if you don't machine it correctly, you have to machine it in like a total inert atmosphere because that thermal cycling.
Very expensive.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally machining in a sealed chamber.
Yeah. Like a vacuum, basically, right?
Or you have to do it without oxygen because that can make the titanium really brittle through heat cycling. So there's just a lot of risks. And we used to do a little bit of titanium, and we just kind of learned early on it was just not good for it. So we kind of went away from that, went with the steel. But now you get people, Inconel is kind of the hot one. There's Inconel.
We had a question about Inconel a while back, and why don't we use Inconels for barrels?
Yeah,
I was like, well, I think it's mostly a cost thing, right? Am I?
I would assume
incorrect in that?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely right, and that's sort of the thing with these more exotic materials too, and kind of the content of your video is why do some of these silencers cost so much? Is a lot of it because of the material. It's such a exotic blend. Like for instance, this has vanadium, chromium, molybdenum. There's all these words that nobody can say that you probably didn't even know were on the periodic table. But it's like a blend of probably 16 different metals that go together to create this.
And that metal is basically like shaved in, basically like a big powder, right?
Yeah, it's very
kind of how
fine.
you were described.
Yep.
And
it's powder.
and then it's kind of just added on to level by level.
Yep.
Into a whole thing like this.
Yep. And then a
like these.
Series of 4 lasers very accurately rip across it and melt each like 50 micron or whatever spec you're running the can at, layer by layer by layer for thousands of layers to build this up. So it's sort of the opposite of 3D printing. I don't know if I can say that.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like when you think of that, it's sort of building up. This is almost building down, and it's just laying powder over the top of the last melted layer.
So what is? Explain Inconel first, because I think we have to have perspective. We've talked about steel. I think before we get into the stuff that you guys have been working on with this guy, I think people need to understand first what Inconel is, and it's not like a super simple thing to explain. You were kind of getting into the metallurgy out of the range, and there's some really weird words in there that make my tongue tie in knots.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a metallurgist either, but I did kind of absorb a lot of the information behind it when I was working with with Austin, our lead engineer, to kind of condense the information we got from the testing on the material into like a visual packet that we could show people to try to describe it to them. So that's on our website if you really want to go look at all the technical stuff. There's a data packet on there under our blogs. But so Inconel is pretty much, as far as I understand it, it's a similar blend of materials to this, just albeit a different mixture. So it's going to have nickel, iron, all those kind of materials that are on the list that you could look up because I can't think of them off the top of my head.
You said like 16 different ones though, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of different metals. And then, it's like any alloy. You combine 2 elements from the periodic table essentially, and you get new properties out of that alloy. So finding a blend that is high strength, high corrosion resistance, resistant to changes in dimension. Those are all things that are really good for silencers. With Inconel, I think it was really just the durability thing. People wanted something more durable than titanium or more durable than steel. Honestly, I think a lot of that is sometimes overkill for the vast majority of just civilian shooters. But, the law enforcement contracts and stuff want to be sure that their can's going to hold up no matter what, which totally makes sense.
Okay, so the composition of Inconel is 45 to 75% nickel, 14 to 31% chromium, 0 to 17% molybdenum, 0 to 22% cobalt, and then up to 5% tungsten, up to 2% aluminum, up to 3% titanium, up to 5% niobium, and 1% tantalum. Those are the the metal compositions, and so
Very tantalizing sounding metal.
Those provide it with high temperature resistance, corrosion resistance, pitting corrosion resistance. I don't know what that means. And then the last 4 on there are listed as strength. But these are all in different types of Inconel. I guess there's more than one type of Inconel. And then do you know, is there like a, and then
the 2 common ones are 718. That's probably the one you'll see the most. Inconel 718, and then Inconel 625 is another one. They're pretty similar as far as I understand it. But then there's another one called Haynes 282, which is
like the ketchup.
Yes. No, Heinz.
Haynes.
Haynes.
Oh, my bad.
So but long story short, they all have slightly different properties, and as I'm sure everyone knows, when you heat up metal, it gets soft and then eventually melts. So the higher the temperature that this can take, the more you can run it to that point without worrying about deforming anything, bulging tubes or anything like that.
Which is big in the era of like belt feds and FRTs and all this
100%.
types of stuff that we are not allowed to have here in Minnesota, but other places
Or on
you're
YouTube.
allowed to. Or on YouTube. Well, yeah, unless you're like T-Rex arms or something. But anyway, or PSR or anyway. But lots of places can have that now. So very important to have way higher strength, like more durable heat resistance on those types of setups, or in military and law enforcement applications.
Yeah,
And
kind of those other materials were all borrowed from other industries. So a lot of it was aerospace for making jet nozzles and expansion chambers.